Cybersecurity Today is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsor, Beauceron Security. You can get their 2024 State of Cybersecurity Awareness Report at beauceronsecurity.com, and there's a link you can follow in the show notes.
The alleged LockBit ransomware leader is identified, and the gang makes false claims of new victims. Welcome to Cybersecurity Today. It's Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. I'm Howard Solomon, contributing reporter on cybersecurity for TechNewsDay.com. The LockBit ransomware gang may be up to some mischief in response to a promised police announcement. You may recall that in February, American and UK law authorities seized and closed the gang's stolen data leak site. Well, on Sunday, authorities revived the site, promising interesting news would be coming on Tuesday. Apparently in response, the LockBit gang posted a supposed new list of victims on a website it controls. One of the companies on the list is a Canadian government agency, the Canada Development Investment Corporation. I contacted the agency for comment. It said it has not been the subject of a cyber attack. Brett Callow, a Canadian-based threat analyst for Emsisoft, told me the alleged new list of LockBit victims is likely a desperate measure aimed by the gang at convincing its affiliates that all is well. It's possible the new list of victims is a bluff, or that LockBit has data that it got from other gangs' thefts. As for that promised law enforcement announcement yesterday, the U.S. Justice Department unsealed charges against a Russian citizen for allegedly being the creator, developer, and administrator of LockBit. Dmitry Koroshev was indicted by a New Jersey grand jury. It's alleged that over the years he received at least $100 million as his cut of ransomware payments from victims. The U.S. is offering a $10 million reward for information leading to Koroshev's arrest. So far, 6 people have been charged by the U.S. with being part of the LockBit gang. One is in U.S. custody awaiting trial. Another pleaded guilty this year to charges here in Canada and is awaiting extradition to the U.S. The personal information of an unknown number of current and former members of the UK military was copied when a payroll system run by an outside firm was hacked. The BBC says the information included names and bank details. The BBC also said the government suspects threat actors from China were involved. In response, China called the allegation fabricated and malicious slander. The annual RSA Cybersecurity Conference is going on this week in San Francisco. During one keynote, the Chief Information Security Officer of Trellix, Harold Rivas, outlined 3 qualities that CISOs need to be in order to be successful. First, the ability to be an architect, which means not only having deep technology knowledge, but also the ability to fuse business and technology priorities. Second, the ability to be an effective operator, which means understanding business operations as well as what's going on in the world. And third, to be a connector, which means being able to effectively communicate risks to the C-suite. Rivas also mentioned the importance of building a network with other senior IT security leaders to ask for advice when needed. At another RSA session, Benjamin Diamin, partner at a San Francisco law firm, urged organizations to prepare now for the possible passage of artificial intelligence laws and regulations. Why get ready now? Well, because your staff may already be using AI tools. So, create a cross-discipline team to develop and oversee the proper use of AI, such as making sure staff don't use confidential corporate information, and that any AI recommendations are free from bias. By coincidence, this week the IT Governments Association called ISACA released a poll of IT audit, trust, governance, privacy, and cybersecurity pros about AI. 42% of respondents said their firm already allows staff to use generative AI systems, like ChatGPT. However, only 15% of respondents said their organization has a formal AI use policy. One of the first things lawyers tell management and IT leaders after a cyber incident is to copy all documentation through a law firm. That way, solicitor-client privilege can be claimed for everything. If the organization is involved in legal matters, then details on possible mistakes might be shielded from coming out. However, a Canadian court recently ruled that doesn't work all the time. The case involved a huge data breach in 2019 at a medical laboratory called Life Labs. 2 provincial privacy commissioners demanded reports by Life Labs IT consultants on the breach. The privacy commissioners rejected Life Labs' claim of lawyer privilege and got the documents. Life Labs then went to court to fight that decision and to block the release of the privacy commissioner's full report into the data theft. That was 4 years ago. Last month, a panel of Ontario Superior Court judges rejected the claim of solicitor-client privilege for privacy regulator report requests. Privilege is for protecting documents in preparation for lawsuits. The court ruled it doesn't apply to facts that may be useful to lawyers in preparation for litigation, or facts that an organization has to produce under the orders of a privacy regulator. Now, unless a higher court overrules, this decision is the law in Ontario. Courts in other Canadian provinces and territories may reach a different conclusion. I asked Life Labs if it will appeal the court decision. No response had been received by the time this podcast was recorded on Tuesday afternoon. That's it for now. Links to details about news mentioned in this podcast episode are in the text version at technewsday.com. Follow Cybersecurity Today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or add us to your flash briefing on your smart speaker. Thanks for listening. I'm Howard Solomon.